The cold vacuum of space stretched endlessly beyond the outer rim of the Milky Way. Stars twinkled faintly, distant and indifferent, while massive warships of the Xeran Empire slid silently between systems. These alien vessels were sleek, black, and terrifyingly efficient, built to dominate, destroy, and conquer. The Xerans, a species as disciplined as they were ruthless, had studied humanity for decades. They had observed humans' history of wars, their technological growth, and their unpredictable nature. But the Xerans had concluded one thing: humans were weak, divided, and not worthy of serious consideration. Their arrogance blinded them to one vital truth: humans had something no machine, no algorithm, no alien discipline could predict: creativity and determination. Captain Viren, the lead commander of the Xeran Fourth Fleet, peered at the holographic display before him. It shimmered with maps of human-controlled sectors and distant mining colonies. "The humans are scattered," he said in a tone devoid of emotion. "They will not interfere. Their fleet is small, their colonies insignificant. We strike swiftly and their systems will fall without resistance." His lieutenants nodded in approval. They had grown accustomed to victories that required minimal effort. Their calculations, algorithms, and war simulations all pointed to a swift conquest. Humanity, in their eyes, was nothing more than an inconvenient nuisance. Meanwhile, on Earth, the first signs of Xeran activity were subtle. Deep space probes detected sudden disturbances near the outer colonies, but the signals were weak, easy to dismiss as cosmic anomalies. On Earth, the United Nations Space Command's headquarters hummed with quiet tension. Screens displayed star maps, energy readings, and communication logs. Scientists and analysts whispered urgently, debating the anomaly's significance. Dr. Lena Havers, chief astrophysicist at the Earth Orbital Observatory, stood in front of the main display. Her brow furrowed as she analyzed the data. "It's not random," she said. "Something or someone is interfering with human colonies in the outer systems. Look at these patterns. They're systematic, coordinated, almost intelligent." Admiral Marcus Vell, a veteran of the United Earth Navy, listened carefully. His face, lined with years of responsibility, reflected concern. "Are we certain it's hostile activity?" he asked, his voice calm but firm. Dr. Havers nodded slowly. "The probes detect energy signatures that match advanced weaponry, though none has engaged directly yet. It's as if they're testing us, probing for weaknesses." Admiral Vell leaned back in his chair, steepling his fingers. "Testing us? Then they will regret it. Prepare a fleet for immediate readiness. I want pilots, engineers, and tacticians on standby. Humanity will not be caught off guard." Across the colonies, life continued, mostly unaware of the danger approaching. Miners extracted rare minerals from asteroids. Research teams monitored distant stars, and merchant ships traveled the void, transporting goods between worlds. To the colonists, the universe was vast and mostly peaceful. Yet, unbeknownst to them, shadows were moving among the stars, watching, calculating, waiting for the right moment to strike. On the mining colony of Asteron 7, a young pilot named Lieutenant Arjun Patel adjusted the controls of his patrol fighter. His squadron had been assigned routine surveillance duties, but Arjun's instincts told him that something was wrong. Sensors showed faint but unusual energy readings near a nearby asteroid field. "Captain, sensors are picking up movement," Arjun reported over the comm link. Captain Elena Marquez, his commanding officer, leaned forward in her seat, eyes narrowing. "Movement? What kind? Small ships? But faster than any human design," Arjun replied. "They're avoiding our detection patterns, almost like they know where we'll look." Elena's heart raced. She had heard stories of alien life, but nothing had prepared her for the possibility of a real hostile fleet. "Stay calm. Keep your distance and observe. We need information before making any aggressive moves." As Arjun's fighter approached the anomaly, he saw sleek black vessels darting through the asteroid field, avoiding collisions with precision that made them almost invisible. He gripped the controls tightly. "Captain, these aren't just ships. They're weapons, and they're coming closer." Back on Earth, UN Space Command accelerated preparations. Fleets that had been docked for years were launched, fully armed and ready. Engineers worked day and night, upgrading ships with new shields, propulsion systems, and experimental energy weapons. Human scientists, using a combination of artificial intelligence and sheer ingenuity, devised strategies designed to offset the Xerans' technological advantage. Admiral Vell addressed the assembled fleet leaders. We do not know the full extent of the enemy, but we do know this. Humanity survives by adapting. Our strength is not in the size of our fleet, but in our creativity, courage, and willingness to fight when others would surrender. Every ship, every pilot, every engineer here has a role. We will defend Earth and our colonies. Failure is not an option. The fleet's energy shields hummed to life. Engines roared as massive ships moved into formation. In hangars, pilots checked their controls. Engineers ran final diagnostics, and tacticians plotted every possible scenario. Humanity was preparing not just to survive, but to fight back with everything it had. Far from Earth, the Xiran scouts continued their quiet infiltration. They attacked small colonies silently, taking resources and testing human defenses, expecting minimal resistance. Yet every encounter, no matter how minor, surprised them. Human ingenuity, unexpected maneuvers, and relentless determination thwarted their attacks more than once. Captain Elena's squadron became the first line of defense in this unseen war. Using the asteroid fields and nearby gas clouds, they executed ambushes that left Xiran ships damaged and retreating. Arjun marveled at how humans adapted on the fly, using limited resources to maximum effect. "Captain," Arjun said during one patrol, "they think they've calculated everything. But humans, we don't follow calculations. We improvise. We survive." Elena nodded. "Exactly. That's what they don't understand. They've studied our history, our technology, but they've ignored the human spirit. That will be our greatest weapon." Back on Earth, Admiral Vell received reports from across the galaxy. Small victories were being won, intelligence gathered, and human colonies reinforced. It was clear that the Xirans were underestimating humanity, just as every human commander had feared. Dr. Lena Havers prepared a report for the UN Council. "Their fleet may be superior in size and firepower," she warned, "but their rigidity is their weakness. They calculate, they plan, but they cannot predict human unpredictability. If we act strategically, we can turn their arrogance against them." The Council agreed, granting full authority to Earth's commanders to mobilize all available resources. Earth, once considered a minor player in the galactic arena, was now rising to become a force to be reckoned with. In the dark reaches of space, Xiran Commander Viren received troubling reports. His scouts were being repelled more often than expected. Human colonies, previously assumed defenseless, were resisting. "Captain," one of his lieutenants said nervously, "the humans, they're learning. Our calculations are failing." Viren's eyes narrowed. "Impossible. We are perfect in every measure. Humanity should not resist us." Yet the evidence was undeniable. The humans were not just surviving, they were adapting, improvising, and even counterattacking. Each skirmish revealed more about human ingenuity, resilience, and the willingness to risk everything for survival. Meanwhile, on Asteron 7, Elena Marquez gathered her squadron for a briefing. "We have the chance to make a difference," she said. "The Xirans believe no one will come. They believe we are weak. But we are not. We will show them that Earth does not surrender, that humans fight with courage, strategy, and heart. Every patrol, every maneuver, every decision counts. Remember, we are the shield that protects millions. And one day soon, we will strike back." Her words inspired the pilots. Each one felt the weight of responsibility and the thrill of rising to the challenge. They knew the battles ahead would be dangerous, but the thought of letting humanity be conquered was unthinkable. As the sun rose over Earth, casting light on a planet unaware of the storm approaching from the stars, the first signals of human resistance echoed through space. Small fleets moved in coordinated formations. Intelligence reports flowed rapidly, and engineers continued to strengthen defenses. Humanity was awakening, not as victims, but as warriors ready to defend their home. In distant star systems, Xiran fleets approached silently, unaware that the humans they considered weak were already preparing a response. They believed they could take Earth by surprise, expecting minimal resistance. But they had underestimated the one thing that would define humanity: the will to survive, adapt, and fight back against impossible odds. And so the stage was set. Across the vast expanse of space, humans prepared their fleets, trained their pilots, and gathered intelligence. Every colony, every ship, and every mind contributed to a growing force ready to meet the Xiran threat. Humanity's story was about to change, and the galaxy would soon witness a lesson in courage, strategy, and resilience. The Zirans thought no one would come. They thought Earth was weak, divided, and insignificant, but they were about to discover that humans do not surrender, and when Earth's fleets finally emerged, they would do so with a force the galaxy had any. The cold darkness of space was deceptive. To the Zirans, it was empty, silent, a canvas on which their empire would expand effortlessly. But to humanity, it was a battlefield filled with opportunity. Knowledge of the enemy, careful preparation, and sheer ingenuity were humanity's greatest weapons. Captain Elena Marquez adjusted the controls of her fighter, the Horizon Hawk, as it drifted just beyond the edge of an asteroid cluster near the colony of Asteron 7. Her squadron of 12 ships waited silently, like predators hidden in the shadows. Every pilot knew the mission: observe, test, and if necessary, strike. Lieutenant Arjun Patel, seated beside her in the lead fighter, tapped his control panel nervously. Captain, sensors are picking up movement. And it's more than before. They're larger ships, not scouts. Looks like a small fleet. Elena nodded, her expression calm but focused. Good, that's what we wanted. We need to see how they react before we fully engage. Stay sharp, everyone. One wrong move and it could be fatal. The Zirans had underestimated human strategy. Their massive ships moved with precision, but their tactics were rigid, predictable. Elena's squadron exploited this immediately. Using asteroid cover and rapid maneuvers, the humans approached unseen, gathering critical intelligence on enemy formations and weapon systems. Captain, Arjun whispered as he analyzed the incoming data. Their weapons are powerful but slow to charge. If we can dodge the first volley, we can strike at their weak points. Elena smiled faintly. Exactly. Humans fight smart, not just strong. That's our advantage. Suddenly, a Ziran destroyer emerged from behind a dense asteroid, its hull gleaming black in the faint starlight. Its weapons began to charge, glowing ominously. Elena's fingers danced over the controls. Now! She shouted. The squadron split in coordinated bursts, weaving through asteroid fields. The first volley of plasma beams streaked past harmlessly, missing by meters. Arjun fired back, launching guided micromissiles aimed at the destroyer's engines. The explosion rocked the ship, sending it careening into the asteroid belt. Nice shot, Elena said over the comm. But stay alert. More will come. True to her words, 3 more Ziran ships appeared, moving swiftly to flank the humans. This was no longer a test. It was the beginning of the first real confrontation. But humans had one advantage the Zirans did not: unpredictability. Elena ordered her squadron to split into smaller groups, each weaving a different path through the asteroid field. Ziran fire, calculated for predictable patterns, struck empty space repeatedly. The human pilots used their agility to their advantage, striking back with precise, rapid attacks. One by one, Ziran ships sustained damage, forced to retreat temporarily. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Admiral Marcus Vell monitored the skirmish from the command bridge of the UNS Defiance, a massive command cruiser. The holographic display showed the positions of human and Ziran ships in real time. Report, Vell ordered, his deep voice calm but authoritative. Lieutenant Commander Hara spoke up. Captain Marquez's squadron is performing exceptionally. Initial engagements show humans exploiting terrain and unpredictability to offset Ziran advantages. Casualties are minimal and enemy damage is increasing. Vell nodded, a rare smile crossing his face. Good, keep tracking. Prepare reinforcements, but let them finish this first encounter. We need intelligence more than glory. On Asteron 7, Elena's squadron continued their hit-and-run maneuvers. Arjun's fighter took the lead, scanning for weaknesses in the Ziran formation. Captain, one of their cruisers is vulnerable. Shields are low on the left flank. If we coordinate, we can disable it before reinforcements arrive. Elena's eyes gleamed with determination. All units focus fire on the cruiser's left flank. Use evasive maneuvers to avoid detection. Timing is critical. Ready now. Micromissiles and plasma bolts streaked across space, hitting the cruiser precisely at weak points. The massive ship shook violently, systems failing one by one. Alarms blared across the Ziran vessel, forcing it to retreat. Excellent work, team, Elena cheered. We've shown them humans are not easy prey. Even as the squadron celebrated small victories, the Zirans regrouped. Their command algorithms, designed to predict outcomes flawlessly, failed to account for human adaptability. Commander Viren scowled as reports of damaged ships reached him. Impossible, he growled. Humans should not resist us. They are supposed to be weak, predictable and uncoordinated. A junior officer hesitated before replying. Sir, their tactics. They are improvising, adjusting to every attack in real time. Viren's eyes narrowed. Then we must escalate. Deploy the next wave. Show them the true might of the Ziran Empire. Back with the humans, Elena's squadron prepared for the inevitable escalation. They're regrouping, she said calmly. This is the moment we test our defenses. Arjun, take the lead on scouting their reinforcements. Everyone else form defensive patterns. Keep our losses minimal. Arjun nodded, heart pounding with excitement and fear. Understood, Captain. As he piloted his fighter closer to the enemy formation, he noticed something remarkable. Ziran ships moved in rigid formations, predictable arcs, as if following a preset program. Elena and her team had already anticipated these patterns. Captain, their predictability is our advantage, Arjun said. If we can exploit their formation, we can strike multiple ships simultaneously with minimal risk. Elena's fingers flew over her controls. Exactly. Focus on speed, precision, and coordination. Remember, they may have advanced weapons, but they lack creativity. The humans struck with impeccable timing. Fighters darted through gaps in the Ziran formation, targeting engines, shields, and weapon systems. Micro-drones, launched from human cruisers, hacked into enemy systems, temporarily disabling fire control mechanisms. The Zirans were caught off guard. Their advanced technology could not compensate for the chaotic brilliance of human tactics. Despite their numerical superiority, Ziran ships began to falter. Explosions rocked the battlefield, sending debris drifting through the void. Elena's squadron avoided casualties through skillful maneuvers, constantly adapting to enemy actions. Captain, Arjun called, one of their carriers is isolated. If we hit it now, we could cripple a significant portion of their fleet. Elena considered the risk. It's dangerous, but the reward is worth it. All units, focus on the carrier. Strike hard, strike fast. The attack was precise. Fighters swarmed the carrier, exploiting shield gaps and weak points. Explosions tore through its hull, forcing it to retreat alongside damaged destroyers. For the first time, humans had inflicted a significant defeat on the Zirans. Back on Earth, Admiral Vell received the updates with a mixture of pride and relief. Humans have held their ground and inflicted damage, he said. Prepare for potential counterattacks, but this confirms what we suspected. Human ingenuity is a force to be reckoned with. Across the galaxy, news of the skirmish spread quickly. Human colonies, once fearful of alien power, were inspired by the success of the Asteron 7 squadron. Pilots, engineers, and strategists prepared for the next wave, motivated by courage and a sense of unity. Captain Elena and Lieutenant Arjun debriefed their squadron after the battle. Today we've done something extraordinary, Elena said, addressing her team. We proved that humans are not easy to defeat. The Zirans underestimated us. They thought no one would come. And now they know the truth. We fight, we adapt, and we survive. Arjun smiled, a mix of relief and pride flooding through him. We've only just begun, Captain. If this is their first encounter, imagine what we can do when we coordinate the entire fleet. Elena's eyes hardened with determination. Exactly. This is the first of many. Every colony, every ship, every pilot must be ready. The Zirans will not stop, but neither will we. Meanwhile, Commander Viren faced the consequences of his underestimation. Ziran strategists argued over tactics, frustrated by human unpredictability. We must recalculate, Viren commanded. They adapt faster than our algorithms can predict. Deploy the secondary assault fleet. Show them the power of the Ziran Empire. But even as he spoke, a nagging doubt crept into his mind. Humans were different from any opponent the Zirans had faced. They improvised, collaborated, and fought with a passion that no machine could replicate. In the quiet aftermath of the first clash, humanity celebrated small victories but remained vigilant. Pilots like Arjun and Elena knew the war was only beginning. Every patrol, every skirmish, and every tactical decision mattered. The Zirans had learned a valuable lesson. Humans could fight back and fight back brilliantly. On Earth, scientists worked tirelessly to upgrade defenses, engineers improved weaponry, and strategists prepared for larger battles. Humanity's spirit was growing stronger with every encounter. They were no longer passive observers of a galaxy dominated by alien powers. They were active participants, ready to defend their home with courage, intelligence, and unyielding determination. And so, the first clash ended, not with total victory but with a clear message. Humans were not weak. Humans were not predictable. Humans were a force that even the most advanced empire in the galaxy could not ignore. The Zirans thought Earth would fall without resistance. They were wrong. Humanity had risen, and the first taste of battle had shown that courage, strategy, and unity could overcome even the greatest technological advantage. The war was only beginning, but the stage was set. The first clash had proven humanity was not weak. The small victories of Captain Elena Marquez, Lieutenant Arjun Patel, and their squadron echoed across the colonies. News of their daring maneuvers spread quickly, inspiring hope and courage among humans. Yet these were only skirmishes. The Zirans had withdrawn temporarily, regrouping and planning a stronger offensive. Humanity knew the true battle was yet to come. On Earth, the United Nations Space Command had transformed. Where once there had been cautious observers and hesitant leaders, now there was decisive action. Massive starships were mobilized, new weapon systems tested, and colonies fortified. Humanity was no longer reacting, they were preparing. Admiral Marcus Vell stood on the bridge of the UNS Defiance, watching the stars outside the enormous observation window. His fleet was now fully operational, composed of cruisers, carriers, and agile fighters from every human colony. "We have learned from the first clash," he said, his voice carrying calm authority across the bridge. "We now know what we are capable of, and we will be ready when the Zirans return." Lieutenant Commander Hera nodded beside him. Captain Marquez and her squadron have been reassigned to the vanguard. Their experience in ambush tactics will be crucial in the next phase. Engineers have modified their ships with improved shields and upgraded microdrone systems. Admiral Vell allowed himself a small smile. "Good. The Zirans believe they can strike at us easily. Let's show them they cannot." Far from Earth, the colonies were bustling with activity. Engineers, scientists, and pilots worked in unison to upgrade vessels, build supply ships, and enhance weapons technology. Human ingenuity thrived under pressure. Artificial intelligence was employed not to replace humans but to complement them, analyzing enemy patterns and proposing innovative tactics. In a training facility on Mars, Captain Elena Marquez supervised a simulation exercise. She observed as pilots maneuvered through holographic asteroid fields, dodging simulated Ziran fire while coordinating attacks. "Faster, smarter," she urged. "The Zirans predict patterns. We don't. Improvisation is our strength. Anticipate, adapt, and exploit every opportunity." Lieutenant Arjun Patel tested a new fighter prototype equipped with stealth thrusters and adaptive shielding. "Captain, this ship can move through tight formations without detection," he said excitedly. "It's almost like we can become invisible." Elena's eyes gleamed. "Exactly what we need. The Zirans depend on predictability. Let's make them doubt every move they take." Meanwhile, human strategists gathered in Earth's command centers, analyzing Ziran technology and tactics from the first clash. Each skirmish, each encounter provided invaluable intelligence. They discovered the Zirans relied heavily on rigid formations, predictable energy bursts, and pre-programmed attack sequences. Colonel Ishida, the chief strategist, emphasized this to the council. "We cannot match their technology directly," he explained, "but we can outthink it. By decentralizing our fleet and employing guerrilla-style tactics, we can force the Zirans to overextend. Our adaptability will be our weapon." The council, composed of leaders from every human nation and colony, agreed. They allocated resources to experimental technology, rapid response drones, adaptive energy shields, and high-speed reconnaissance vessels. Every decision, every innovation, every effort was aimed at turning the Zirans' strength into a weakness. Across the outer colonies, humanity's fleet began uniting. Ships that had once operated independently were now organized into task forces. Veteran pilots trained new recruits, sharing knowledge, experience, and tactics. Supply lines were fortified, and communication systems enhanced to ensure coordination across light years of space. On Astron 7, Captain Elena Marquez briefed her squadron for a new mission. "Our goal is reconnaissance," she said. "We need to map the Zirans' next likely target, learn their fleet movements, and find weak points in their formation. This will be dangerous. Their scouts are faster and more heavily armed than before. But we have one advantage, our unpredictability." Arjun glanced at her. "Captain, they think they've learned from the last encounter. They think they can anticipate us. But we'll prove them wrong, Elena nodded. Exactly. Humans learn quickly. We adapt quickly. And we fight with something they cannot calculate. Heart, courage, and creativity. Remember, every move you make can save lives. Every decision can change the course of this war. As their squadron moved into position, sensors detected Xeran activity near a mining colony on the edge of the Orion Belt. Small patrols were scouting, but the humans were ready. Using stealth thrusters and decoy drones, Elena's squadron approached undetected. Visual on enemy fleet, Arjun reported. They're positioned near the colony, expecting minimal resistance. Elena studied the data. They assume humans are weak. Let's use that assumption against them. Prepare micro-drone launch. When they engage, we strike their flanks simultaneously. The ambush was executed with precision. Human fighters darted between asteroids, deploying micro-drones that jammed enemy communications and targeted key systems. Xeran patrols, confused and disoriented, fired blindly while human ships maneuvered with agility and precision. One Xeran destroyer attempted to flank Elena's squadron. Arjun anticipated the move and led a countermaneuver, using the asteroid field to trap the enemy vessel. Micro-missiles struck, crippling engines and forcing a retreat. Excellent work, Elena said over the comm. Every strike counts. Every maneuver matters. The Xerans believe they are superior, but today we've reminded them that humans are resourceful. The human victory was not without cost. One fighter was lost to enemy fire, its pilot ejecting safely into space before being rescued by a support ship. Despite the loss, morale remained high. Each victory, each tactical success, reinforced humanity's growing reputation across the galaxy. Back on Earth, Admiral Vell studied the reports with satisfaction. Our strategy is working, he said. They underestimate us. And every engagement teaches us more about their weaknesses. Humanity is stronger than they imagined. Dr. Lena Havers, working alongside engineers on a new generation of sensors, observed the transmissions from the battle. It's fascinating, she said. They adapt, learn, and coordinate instantly. It's not just skill, it's instinct, intuition, something the Xerans cannot predict. Colonel Ishida added, this is just the beginning. Every skirmish, every engagement prepares us for the greater conflict. The Xerans may have power, but we have strategy, unity, and the human spirit. That will carry us forward. In the dark regions of space, Commander Viren and his officers reviewed the losses. Humans, they resist with unexpected skill, Viren admitted reluctantly. Our next engagement must be decisive. Deploy secondary fleets. We will crush them before they can gather full strength. Despite his orders, doubt crept into Viren's mind. The humans were unpredictable, adaptable, and resilient. Their victories were not just skill. They were innovation under pressure, a quality the Xerans had never faced. Meanwhile, humanity's colonies continued uniting. Resources were pooled, communication lines strengthened, and training accelerated. Engineers developed advanced drone swarms capable of coordinated attacks. Fighters were upgraded with stealth capabilities, and energy shields improved exponentially. Humanity was becoming a fleet capable of standing against the Xeran Empire. On Mars, Captain Elena Marquez and her squadron debriefed. We've learned a lot, she said. We now know how they respond to ambushes, where their weaknesses lie, and how we can exploit them. Every engagement must be calculated, but remember, creativity and adaptation are just as important as precision. Arjun grinned. We've seen what humans can do when we work together. Imagine what the full fleet can achieve when we bring every colony's ships into formation. Elena's eyes hardened with determination. That day is coming. The Xerans think they can intimidate us, divide us, and conquer, but humanity will not falter. We will unite, we will adapt, and we will show the galaxy that Earth does not surrender. Across the galaxy, scattered human fleets coordinated through advanced communication systems. Pilots trained tirelessly, engineers optimized weapons, and tacticians devised multi-pronged strategies. Every human system, from the smallest outpost to the largest battleship, contributed to the growing force. The Xerans, meanwhile, began to realize the magnitude of human potential. Every miscalculation, every failed attack revealed the humans' resourcefulness. Viren's algorithms, once flawless, now failed to account for human ingenuity. His officers warned him repeatedly, but the commander refused to admit weakness. Humans are insignificant, he insisted. They will submit when faced with true power. But the humans were already preparing for the next stage. The Earth Defense Fleet, combining vessels from every colony, was forming into a cohesive force. Massive cruisers, agile fighters, and experimental ships moved in coordinated patterns, ready to respond to any threat. Captain Elena Marquez stood on the bridge of her upgraded Horizon Hawk, gazing at the distant Xeran ships. "The storm is coming," she said softly. "And when it hits, we'll be ready. Every human, every ship, every strategy. All of it will matter. We will not fail." Lieutenant Arjun Patel nodded. "They may be powerful, Captain, but humans, we don't give up. We adapt, we fight, and we survive. And when the full fleet emerges, the Xerans will finally understand that Earth is not weak." The galaxy was silent, but beneath the calm surface, the largest human fleet ever assembled moved in unison, ready to confront the Xeran threat. Every starship, from the massive command cruisers to the smallest scout fighters, had been upgraded, repaired, and tested. Humanity had learned from the first clashes, and now they were no longer scattered, they were united. On the bridge of the UNS Defiance, Admiral Marcus Vell observed the stars with a sense of quiet pride. "Today we show them the true strength of humanity," he said. "They thought no one would come. They were wrong." Captain Elena Marquez stood beside him, her hands resting on the control panel of the command deck. Her squadron, now acting as the vanguard of the full fleet, waited in formation near a dense nebula. "All units are ready," she reported. "Scouts have confirmed Xeran positions. Their fleet is larger than expected, but they are spread out and predictable." "This is our chance," Admiral Vell nodded. "Every unit must act with precision, but remember, adaptation is key. The Xerans rely on calculation. We rely on creativity and courage. Use it wisely." Far from the nebula, the Xeran commander, Viren, observed his forces. His fleet had been reinforced, and he believed victory was near. "The humans have mobilized," he said coldly. "But they are weak. They are scattered and unorganized. When we strike, they will fall." Yet even as he spoke, unease rippled through his officers. Previous encounters had shown the humans' ability to adapt, to fight unpredictably, and to exploit weaknesses in the most disciplined formations. Viren ignored the warnings, confident that sheer power would be enough. Back in human space, every ship in the fleet received final instructions. Engineers performed last-minute system checks, pilots ran simulations, and communication channels buzzed with coordination. The Earth Defense Fleet was not just a collection of ships. It was a testament to humanity's ingenuity, determination, and unity. Lieutenant Arjun Patel sat in the cockpit of his fighter, checking weapon systems for the final time. "This is it," he muttered to himself. "Everything we've trained for. Everything humanity has built. It all comes down to this." Captain Elena's voice came over the comm. "Arjun, focus on your role. Keep formation tight, watch your surroundings, and trust your instincts. Humanity depends on every one of us today." The first movement of the fleet was subtle but deliberate. Using the nebula as cover, human ships emerged from multiple directions, creating the illusion of a scattered force while maintaining tight coordination. The Xerans, expecting predictable formations, were immediately thrown off balance. "Captain Marquez, sensors detect human fleet movement from multiple vectors," a Xeran lieutenant reported nervously. "They are unexpected." Viren's eyes narrowed. "Impossible," he hissed. "They cannot coordinate on this scale. Deploy interceptors and flank the human vanguard." Elena's squadron, leading the fleet, executed a daring maneuver. Fighters and drones darted through asteroid fields and energy clouds, launching attacks at Xeran destroyers' weak points. Micro-drones jammed communications and disabled targeting systems, leaving enemy ships vulnerable. Arjun's fighters streaked past a Xeran cruiser, launching a precise volley of micro-missiles. The explosion rocked the enemy vessel, sending debris drifting into space. "Direct hit," Arjun shouted over the comm. "They're trying to adapt, but we're faster." The Xerans attempted to reorganize, but every maneuver was anticipated by the humans' ingenuity. Using split formations, decoys, and rapid-fire strikes, the Earth fleet exploited the Xerans' rigidity. Every attack was calculated yet flexible, every defense adaptive. Humanity was no longer reacting. They were dictating the battle. On the UNS Defiance, Admiral Vell coordinated multiple waves of attack. "Deploy the drone swarms to the upper flank. Fighters, use stealth thrusters to flank the enemy from the nebula. Cruiser batteries, focus on shielding and supporting the vanguard. Remember, our strength is our unpredictability." The Zirans, despite their numbers, were struggling. Their advanced weaponry could not compensate for human adaptability. Destroyers were crippled, carriers forced to retreat, and communication networks jammed. Viron's calculated approach was failing against the relentless creative tactics of humanity. Captain Marquez, the enemy flagship is isolated, Arjun reported. If we coordinate, we can strike a decisive blow. Elena's eyes glimmered with determination. All units focus fire on the flagship. Use drones, micromissiles, and coordinated fighter strikes. Timing is critical. Humanity's future depends on this moment. The attack was executed flawlessly. Fighters weaved between laser fire, drones disrupted shields, and the human fleet struck simultaneously from multiple angles. The Ziran flagship, massive and powerful, shuddered under the combined assault. Its engines faltered and critical systems failed one by one. Viron bellowed orders, but his fleet was already in disarray. Destroyers attempted to shield the flagship, but human ingenuity had anticipated every move. The Zirans were being outmaneuvered, outsmarted, and overwhelmed, not by brute force, but by creativity, strategy, and courage. Captain Elena led the final strike. Her fighters streaked forward, releasing a swarm of high-speed micro-drones that breached the flagship's core systems. Explosions rippled across the massive vessel, forcing it to retreat with heavy damage. The sight sent a ripple of shock through the Ziran ranks. Humanity, they realized, was not weak. Humanity was formidable. Back on Earth, news of the fleet's success reached the UN Council. Cheers erupted as reports confirmed the first major victory of the Earth Defense Fleet. Humanity had not only survived, the humans had won decisively, proving that determination and ingenuity could triumph against overwhelming power. Admiral Vell addressed the fleet through comm channels. Today, humanity has shown what we are capable of. Every pilot, every engineer, every crew member has contributed to this victory. The Zirans underestimated us. They will think twice before attacking again. But our mission continues. We must remain vigilant, adaptive, and united. In the aftermath, Captain Elena Marquez and Lieutenant Arjun Patel debriefed with their squadron. We've done something remarkable, Elena said. We've shown the galaxy that humans fight with heart, strategy, and unity. The Zirans will now understand that Earth is not to be underestimated. Arjun grinned. It's incredible, Captain. Every ship, every maneuver, every plan worked together perfectly. I've never felt such pride as I do now. Elena nodded. And this is only the beginning. Humanity must continue to improve, adapt, and innovate. The Zirans will regroup, but we are ready. We are not just surviving. We are proving that humans are a force that even the most powerful empire cannot ignore. Across the galaxy, scattered human colonies celebrated the news. Engineers, scientists, pilots, and citizens alike shared in the triumph. Humanity had united not only for survival but for victory. The Earth Defense Fleet had emerged as a symbol of courage, ingenuity, and determination. Commander Viron, forced to retreat, realized a sobering truth. Humans were unpredictable, adaptable, and relentless. His empire, advanced though it was, had underestimated a species whose greatest strength was not technology, but the spirit of its people. In the quiet aftermath of battle, humanity consolidated its gains. Damaged ships were repaired, new pilots trained, and strategies refined. Every engagement had taught lessons. Every victory strengthened resolve, and every loss reminded humans of the stakes. Captain Elena Marquez addressed her squadron one last time before moving on to the next mission. Today, we have proven what humans can do when we fight together. The Zirans thought no one would come, but we came, and we will continue to come, until every colony, every ship, and every human stands united. Our fleet is strong, our people are courageous, and our spirit cannot be broken. Humanity has arrived. Lieutenant Arjun Patel looked out at the stars, feeling a sense of awe and purpose. This is just the beginning, Captain. One day, the galaxy will remember Earth not as a small, insignificant planet, but as the home of a people who fought back and won. And so, the first full-scale engagement ended in triumph. Humanity had shown that even against overwhelming odds, courage, ingenuity, and unity could overcome the most powerful adversaries. The Zirans had underestimated the human spirit, and in doing so had awakened a force the galaxy had never seen before. The Earth Defense Fleet, now fully assembled, was ready for the challenges ahead. The Zirans would return stronger and more determined, But humanity had proven one unassailable truth: underestimate humans at your peril. From the smallest fighter to the largest cruiser, every ship, every pilot, and every human heart beat with the same determination: to defend their home, to protect their people, and to show the galaxy that humanity was not to be taken lightly. The stage was set for the battles yet to come. But one thing was clear: Earth's most powerful fleet had emerged, and when it moved, the galaxy would witness the full force of humanity, united, clever, and unbreakable,